Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are both facing.
They should focus on saving federal dollars for the taxpayers.
Are both facing major blowback from their own supporters.
Folks in the MAGA world have every right to be angry with Vivek
for not only backing but encouraging.
I now understand why he got like 100 votes in Iowa.
Offering more visas to highly skilled foreign workers.
I mean, I think he kind of insulted a lot of Americans and American culture.
Vivek Ramaswamy, he says it's a cultural issue.
Welcome back to the Devorah Darkin Show. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, and I want to wish you a Happy New Year to you and your family, of course. But we got to react to the drama that's taking place on X with Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. MAGA has turned against them over their stance as it pertains to the H-1B visa program. This is a program that allows immigrants from India to serve in tech companies at a lower wage. This, in turn, will allow the tech company not to actually hire American citizens. And it has been exploding in a huge debate. But let's first start with how CNN broke out this story. Watch.
Tonight, as President-elect Donald Trump is preparing for a widespread immigration crackdown when he takes office 25 days from now, we're seeing a crack between some of his top advisors and his MAGA base. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are both facing major blowback from their own supporters for not only backing, but encouraging offering more visas to highly skilled foreign workers. Over the Christmas holiday, Musk posted this online saying, think of this like a pro sports team. If you want your team to win the championship, you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be. He later added, I'm referring to bringing in, via legal immigration, the top 0.1% of engineering talent as being essential for America to keep winning. He's talking about H-1B visas, which allow employers to hire highly skilled foreign workers. Musk, who himself is from South Africa, said that he once had this kind of visa, and he's arguing that Silicon Valley is facing a shortage of excellent engineering talent, as he put it. But the annual cap on those kinds of visas right now is at $65,000, with another $20,000 for those who get a master's or a doctorate in the U.S. Musk is being backed up by his partner in Trump's government efficiency initiative, Vivek Ramaswamy. He says it's a cultural issue that there aren't more competitive engineers in the U.S. Here's what he said online. A culture that celebrates the prom queen over the math Olympiad champ or the jock over the valedictorian will not produce the best engineers.
Allow me to make this simple. In order to receive something, you have to give something up. The tech corporations, they wanted to receive lower wages, but more skillful workers. Well, what did they give up in return? American skillful workers. That's exactly what's taking place with the H-1B visa program. That's why it's so controversial at this point and needs to be reformed. Secondly, you will definitely find in the tech industry where these Indian executives have replaced American workers with H-1B visa employees. Why? Because they're going to make more money and they can be controlled, unlike an American citizen who clearly knows what their rights are. And number three, in the process of this debate, we don't need to demonize legal immigrants who have come over and absolutely contributed to our success as a country. All of these three things can be true at the same time. Now, this just isn't my opinion. This is also an opinion from Neil Patel, and here's what he wrote on X. America's current H-1B skilled visa system is a complete giveaway to corporate America, primarily big tech. We bring in skilled foreigners only when a company sponsors them. The system then keeps many of these workers in a legal limbo, often for decades. That whole time, they are tied to their sponsor company. Workers tied down like this are less able to negotiate salary and benefits. That's the main reason big tech loves hiring H-1Bs. He goes on to say that American workers who then have to compete with these foreign workers are thereby hurt by unfair labor competition. And most perversely of all, these highly skilled foreign workers are not even free to innovate or start their own companies and create jobs the whole time. They are stuck on the current waiting list. Like so much of current federal policy that needs unwinding, our current skilled immigration system benefits big business at virtually everyone else's expense. High-profit tech companies and Indian consulting firms are the biggest exploiters of this broken system. Those advocating for more skilled immigration, I include myself in this group, need to be more clear on the need for complete reform of this broken system. Those who don't understand it or aren't being honest. And this is why you do have some conservatives, especially on CNN, who are actually in disagreement with Vivek and Elon Musk. Here's an example of that.
I think with all due respect to Mr. Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they should focus on saving federal dollars for the taxpayers and not immigration policy. I understand some of the points that Catherine made, and I agree to an extent. But I think the U.S. should focus more on domestic skill development. Studies also show that H-1B exacerbates employers hiring individuals from outside of the country when they could potentially hire minorities, for an example, which we know there's a shortage in the STEM fields. There are a significant number of Americans who I think would love opportunities if they had the proper training and skills to operate in those jobs fairly well. So why not start and focus there? I'm not of the support or mindset, Caitlin, that we should let in more than the 60,000+ that were already let into the country. Do we have some deficits? I certainly understand that point, again, to what Catherine was sort of alluding to. But I think by focusing on increasing domestic skill development, you can decrease the furtherance of those deficits by virtue of saying, you know what, we're going to spend more of our time, more of our dollars educating our own citizens to compete for these jobs versus saying, let's increase to 100,000 or maybe even more for employers to bring in individuals from India, which is the predominant country where many of them come from. I don't agree with that at all. And I think folks in the MAGA world have every right to be angry with Vivek and Elon Musk.
Now, just understand he was responding to Vivek Ramaswamy's initial post that went viral, right? So Vivek made a mistake here. He wrote the post in the context of the problem is American culture, not these tech companies who are abusing the system. That's really the way that people read the message. And so, of course, Vivek has had to somewhat try to clarify, but he hasn't really done a great job of that either. And this post that I just read to you was probably the most middle of the road, just common sense logic take about this entire debate. Now, in the comment section, Julie Wright wrote this post that I think sums up this entire debate in a very simple way. She writes, it's essentially the reverse of offshoring American companies and jobs. Instead of placing the company in a country with cheap labor, we import the cheap labor to America. That's the simplest explanation. So you got to ask yourself, if you're the executive and you're trying to make the most money in this tech corporation, why would you hire someone fresh out of Stanford who's an American citizen who's demanding a salary of $300,000 when you could pay a skillful worker from India $100,000, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer. And also in the comment section, some people are offering solutions, which one of these I actually agree with, fairly simple to fix. All visa hires must be direct employees of the company they work for and cannot be paid less than the average wage / benefits of a comparable position. I bet there would be a lot less visa applications if they couldn't pay them below market value. That is so dead on. Listen, as an entrepreneur, as someone who's owned multiple businesses myself, it's just something you can't help. If you own the company, labor is the biggest expense every single time, no matter what. So anything that you can do to decrease labor but still maximize production, you're going to do it. So yes, the system needs to be fixed. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy did come back on X and kind of clarified his stance. He said, I've said it countless times in the last 2 years, and we'll say it again, the H-1B system is badly broken and should be replaced with one that focuses on selecting the very best of the best, not a lottery, pro-competitive, no endured service to one company, and debureaucratized. Now, guys, there's already a visa program for people who are classified as geniuses, by the way. That does exist, so it's not like it doesn't. It's just that the H-1B program, like we just read, it needs to be reformed. It's just that simple. It's not really a dramatic thing to say. Now, since we're on the subject of Vivek Ramaswamy and what he was saying, here's Scott Jennings on CNN reacting to Vivek's post, and he also didn't take it very well.
Where America is going. And I'm using Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley to help us put this conversation together. Scott, I'll call it a war of words. And yes, it's happening on the Twitters and the X between Vivek and Nikki Haley. Ramaswamy posts a long monologue, if you will, criticizing American work ethic and saying this in part in his rant. Our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long. Nikki, and as you can see, it's quite long. Nikki Haley decides to respond to this, saying there is nothing wrong with American workers or American culture. All you have to do is look at the border and see how many want what we have. Who's right?
Yeah, Vivek, first of all, after reading this message, I now understand why he got like 100 votes in Iowa or whatever it was.
Why?
I mean,
Tell me why.
I mean, because I think he kind of insulted a lot of Americans and American culture, a lot of culture that we all grew up with and that we celebrate as uniquely American. Look, I think we have a lot of talent inside our borders. I also think the H-1B visa program, which he was talking about, is in serious need of reform. And so there's probably a way here for Donald Trump to do lots of positive things. Number one, reform this key part of our immigration system. Number two, try to elevate American workers and people in America, American citizens that have this kind of talent. I don't think we have to say all Americans are mediocre. I don't think that's true, and I actually agree with Nikki Haley on this one. We have a lot of talent and a lot of hard workers here. We ought to elevate them instead of push them down.
Now, as we go throughout this video, you're going to see that there are a lot of individuals who really don't know what they're talking about. And what I mean is, part of this conversation is about H-1B, the visa program. That's it, right? We know it needs to be reformed. Tech companies are absolutely exploiting it, period, okay? Then there's a conversation about American workers, individuals who went to college, gained a skill. Why are they not finding the jobs that match the skills that they have? And then there's another conversation where tech companies are being operated and managed by American Indians. And these individuals are doing what? They're replacing American citizens with H-1B employees. They're literally removing, particularly to be clear here, white men from these positions and replacing them with people from India. So now that we got the facts out of the way and what's really happening and what we need to do moving forward, I guess you guys want to see the drama that took place as a result of all of this. Here's Laura Loomer ripping Elon Musk on X. Let's read it. So let's start with this post from Laura Loomer first. She writes, "Is Doge a way to cut spending or redirect the spending toward the pet projects of tech bro billionaires? It looks like the latter, to be honest. Quote, hey, let's convince the peasants that we are saving them money as we enrich ourselves. Then when they find out and speak out, we will have the Indian mods ban them." Now, you guys have to understand, by her even putting this post up, number one, she's clearly contradicting the whole idea of Doge, right? That's number one. Number two, she's also saying that Elon Musk is only there to enrich themselves. And those type of talking points sounds like who? People on MSNBC and CNN. So, of course, there are going to be people on both sides of this issue that look at her and say, hey, man, you're going way too far, right? And then other people are actually going to support what she was saying because they're not convinced that Doge will actually result in anything happening. Now, if you thought this was crazy, she went a step further. Check this out. So Ian Miles Chong wrote this on X. It's wild to see MAGA turning against Elon Vivek, David Sachs, etc. Wild. He screenshot the post that I just read to you. And he's saying it in this context because what happened after Vivek put up that post, he received so much backlash. And so did Elon Musk before they were even allowed to truly clarify what they meant. And clearly this is all playing out on X. There's no video, there's no interviews, there's no actual fluid discussion here. Let's just be honest about it all. But here's what Elon Musk ended up saying, which triggered Loomer. He wrote, "Loomer is trolling for attention. Ignore." And then she responded by saying this: "Telling the truth isn't trolling. Read the room, Elon. You bought your way into MAGA 5 minutes ago after Trump almost had his head blown off in Butler. Remember when you voted for Biden and propped up Ron DeSantis and you said Trump was too old, ? Let me stop here for a second. That statement is actually true because most people right now that are going to be serving in the next Trump administration, a lot of people in MAGA are scratching their head because a lot of these people 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, all were opposing Trump. So why is he allowing them to serve in his administration? If you know the answer to that, please let us know in the comment section because I don't know. We all know you only donated your money so you can influence immigration policy and protect your buddy Xi Jinping. You pretend like you made such a sacrifice and investment donating to Trump and buying X, but you have only increased your own wealth and the wealth of your companies by practically invading Mar-a-Lago while trying to become Trump's side piece." Now, here's where, in my opinion, she's starting to cross the line. It's that why you wanted so much hands-on control over the spending bill and direct communication with Speaker Johnson. I've been here supporting Donald Trump with the millions of other patriots in MAGA since the beginning, so I actually understand the campaign promises that President Trump campaigned on. He campaigned on limiting H-1B visas and decreasing immigration. That is true, and I'm going to show you a video of Trump saying just that. Donald Trump won because of the forgotten men and women of America, not because of the tech billionaires who cheered when he was deplatformed and jailed and attacked nonstop over the last 8 years. And she ends by saying this: he didn't win because of tech billionaires like you who want to buy influence to jeopardize our national security by selling out to China and replacing American workers with foreigners who have disdain for white Americans. P.S. You aren't president. Trump is, as he already has a beautiful wife. I'm not sure what your role you're trying to fill, but we voted for Trump, not you. Maybe others are too afraid to talk to you like this, but I'm not. Did I get your attention? Okay, so this is just a simple life lesson for all my folks out there. This is a little mindset as well. Okay, you have to pick and choose your battles. Now, unfortunately for Laura Loomer, that's not in her makeup, meaning in her DNA, she only knows one speed and one tactic, and that is to destroy. And if it was Trump doing something to her and criticizing her, she'd be treating him the same way. I really do believe that's the type of person that she is. So my main disagreement with Laura Loomer on this is from a tactics point of view. The message is correct in a lot of things that she is saying, but the way she's going about it, I believe, is more of a distraction, and it's just too dramatic for me. Now, of course, she didn't stop there. She went further. Let's read it. The elephant in the room is that Elon Musk, who is not MAGA and never has been, is a total effing drag on the Trump transition. He's a stage 5 clinger who has overstayed his welcome at Mar-a-Lago in an effort to become Trump's side piece and be the point man for all of his accomplishments in big tech to slither into Mar-a-Lago. He told Bob Iger at Disney to F himself over ad money, but he won't tell Xi Jinping to go F themselves, and he's perfectly happy to take their money to fund his Shanghai gigafactory. Elon cockblocks the nominee meetings and tries to undermine anyone and everyone who doesn't do his bidding. It's wildly inappropriate how a guy with no experience in politics, who has been a Democrat his entire life, is now staffing the Trump admin. Now, she goes more into depth about the person who runs Elon Musk's companies is the person who's involved in appointing people to serve in the Trump administration. She ends by saying this is not attention seeking, Elon. It's called accountability. You want to be so rich that you can bully everyone. It's not holding you accountable so you can pursue your own conflicts, which are extensive. I'm happy to list them all, but I'll need a larger character limit on X, though, to do that. Now, she also put up this post, which is very interesting. Elon has removed my blue check mark on X because I dared to question his support for H-1B visas, the replacement of American tech workers by Indian immigrants, and I question his relationship with China. Looks like Elon Musk is going to be silencing me for supporting original Trump immigration policies. Let me go ahead and end this. She says, Elon has decided to retaliate by removing my blue check and demonetizing me. I guess he doesn't really believe in free speech after all. Now, of course, Elon Musk had to come out and say something about what's going on here, about people getting demonetized on the X platform, their blue check being removed. This wasn't just happening to her. It was actually happening to quite a few conservative accounts who came out and voiced their opposition to Vivek and Elon on this subject. He wrote, just a reminder that the algorithm is trying to maximize unregretted user seconds. If far more credible verified subscriber accounts, not bots, mute block your account compared to those who like your posts, your reach will decline significantly. Meaning what? If people come out and mass block you, you're going to lose your blue check mark and your reach is going to be limited. Which leads me to this post that I think sums up my own personal reaction to this entire story. Imagine speaking this way about the guy who spent $44 billion on a platform, restored your account, and allowed you to gain 1 million followers. Oh, and the same guy who put the biggest fortune in the world on the line to elect the guy you support. Whatever you think about Elon Musk's position on immigration, it should be tempered with an insane respect for what he has done and what he has risked for this movement and this country. That's why I said earlier, I'm not actually disagreeing with the substance of this issue. The H-1B visa program needs to be abolished. We got to do something else. It's just not working, right? These corporations have caught on. It's a loophole. Okay, you guys got away with it. Now let's fix it. But also the more important issue here is we need to focus on American workers, people coming out of college, people who do have skills, they're smart, they're intelligent. Why are they not being made a priority? And stop firing white men out of corporations, please. Right? So that's where I stand with it. I just don't agree with the tactics of attacking Elon Musk, who clearly has put money, his name, and his reputation on the line for Trump way before people like Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos did, of course, and definitely was not even in the same way. All right. Now, the question I would love for you guys to answer in the comment section below is this. Do you believe that Laura Loomer is correct in the way that she attacked Elon Musk? Or do you believe she's wrong, that she's crossed the line? I already believe that I know how you feel about the H-1B program, so I'm not even going to ask you that. I really want to know what your thoughts are about how some people have been attacking Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy over this issue. Please leave your answers in the comments section below. Now, I find it to be very interesting that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, they're getting all this attention on this issue, but I think the attention should be on Joe Biden and what he's been doing behind the scenes, continuing his corruption. And this is what Trump called out on Christmas when he dropped two particular messages, one to the Chinese soldiers of Panama, and secondly, to the 37 murderers that Joe Biden granted clemency to. So if you guys want to check out that video and more stories, all you have to do is click on it because it's coming up right now.